Hi, I'm Laura Geist, founder of HomeschoolAdviceOnline.com and the author of the Homeschool Toolkit, Planning and Preparing a Foundation for Learning at Home. Today, I'd like to share with you how you can plan your homeschooling lessons in less than 15 minutes a day with no work on the weekends. Now, if you haven't done so already, I'd like you to go to my website, www.homeschooladviceonline.com, and download your free plan book. It has the planning page that I'm going to be talking about in this video. It also contains over 30 pages that will help you get your school organized, and it's absolutely free. So I'd like you to go there and do that now before you watch the rest of the video. Now, after you have your pages in front of you, select the lesson planning page that pertains to the number of students you teach. There's one for a 1 student, 2, 3, or 4. So get that out in front of you, and I'll show you how this 15-minute lesson planning works. You'll notice on your page there's a section called Planning. What I want you to do in that section is write a list of all the subjects that you teach throughout a week. So for instance, I usually teach Bible first thing in the morning, then we do history, and we follow that with grammar, and so on down the line. So just list all those subjects. I suggest that you write those subjects in before you make a whole bunch of copies, so you don't have to keep writing this list over and over again. When I first started homeschooling, I spent 1 to 2 hours every weekend on lesson planning, and that became a real drag in a short amount of time. I had other things I wanted to do on the weekends. My kids play sports, and I like to go to their games or work out in the yard or do a project around the house. So I didn't really like that weekend planning too well. So then I thought, well, if I could do a whole bunch of lesson planning at one time, get it over with for the month, then I'll have some free time later on. So I tried planning a month's worth of lessons at a time. And that was a total disaster because I never knew how much my kids were actually going to progress in a week. So I was constantly rearranging the lesson plans, erasing and rewriting. So I finally decided that a weekly lesson plan was going to work best for me. And this is how I do it in less than 15 minutes a day. I start by planning only 2 or 3 subjects each day. So if you teach 12 subjects, if you plan 2 or 3 a day, you'll have all your planning finished by Friday, and you can forget about it on the weekend. So the first subjects I teach every day are Bible, history, and grammar. So on Monday, I plan my Bible, history, and grammar lessons for the following week. Now what I like to do is, while my books are already out, while I'm teaching Bible, I leave those books out until I have planned the next week. And then I can put that away. Then after I teach history, I leave those books out, plan the history lessons, then put the history books away. That way I don't have to keep trying to find the books. They're already out, and that saves a little more time. I also like to plan while my kids are working. For instance, my son Nate, who's in 3rd grade, likes to have me nearby while he's doing his math, but he doesn't need my full attention all the time. He just likes me there if he has a question. So while he's working on his math, I just get out those Bible books and plan the Bible lessons for next week, or plan the history lessons for next week. So I do my planning while the kids are working, so I don't have to do it before school or after school. It's just built into the school day, and it takes very little time that way. Now I suggest, if you follow this method, that before you begin planning, you check your monthly schedule. Sometimes there are things like we do study a composer of the month, and that takes a big hunk of time on a Friday afternoon once a month. And if we're doing that, I might skip grammar that day or rearrange my plans a little bit. So look at that monthly schedule to see if you're going to need to make some changes in your plans because of something else that's going on. I also like to make sure that I have all my materials ready, so I'm not fishing around for those when it's time to teach a lesson. So I don't mark history off as being planned until I have all the books ready that I want to use, all the copies made that I'm going to need. And if I don't have that done, I'll write myself a note at the bottom of the planning list. Make sure you get such and such book from the library before history next week, so that I have everything together. And then as I plan, I just mark these things off my list And usually by Friday afternoon, I'm finished planning for the week. I hope this helps. I look forward to serving you. Remember, you can do this.